So as you guys know, every 100 episodes we do a big Q&A episode. So ask your questions in the comments below, or you can on the Discord as well. Pretty much anything is on the table. It's an Ask Me Anything. Don't be too weird. But yes, I invite your questions. Write them and we will answer the myriad of inquiries tomorrow.
It's the Q&A. It's time to ask questions. Tell me what you want me to say for the Q&A. It's Q&A day.
M3 here. Kind of random, but it occurred to me, I think I'm gonna listen to nothing but audiobooks for a week. So when you see me with the earbuds in, a lot of times I'm listening to podcasts, and sometimes it is kind of educational. I listen to a lot of history stuff and whatever. I'm definitely listening to business stuff sometimes. But I'm realizing that a lot of what I'm listening to is, I wouldn't call it garbage. That's too strong a word, but it's not really teaching me very much. I was just watching this video that was summarizing a bunch of business books, and like, you know, back in the day when I started this business, I read so many business books. To recap a little bit, I had this vending machine business, and it initially did quite well, and we got pretty, I don't want to say big, I don't know. It's not like there's an official listing, but we feel like we were in the top 10 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and surrounding region. We actually were in 2 different states, and we had locations in like 15 different cities. But anyway, economic conditions changed a bunch. I kind of started it in the Great Recession, if any of you guys remember that little pleasure time. Basically, at the end of that business, I realized I didn't know very much about business itself, you know, and I did all that without any kind of business education is basically what it boils down to. Which I feel pretty good that I did that without knowing anything about business. So anyway, many things happened, and when I was getting out of homelessness, I also decided during that time I was reflecting on many things that I did wrong. Let's just put it that way. One of the things was I never taught myself about business, so I pretty much just listened to like every business audiobook you can think of at the time, or I mean, there's so many books, I can't actually say that. I listened to tons of them, let's put it that way. And I do listen to them still periodically. I've heard the average millionaire listens to an audiobook once a month, like gets through an audiobook or a book, a non-fiction book once a month. And I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, why did I kind of stop? And I don't have like any particularly good reason. So for an entire week, all I'm gonna do is just listen to audiobooks and nothing else. I guess we're doing this as a challenge. It's Sunday, so we'll stop potentially next Sunday. Maybe I'll just keep going. I might really like it. But since we do this show, I'm going to show you what books I am listening to. Part of the challenge is I do find it hard to pay attention continuously, but we're just gonna do it anyway. So yeah, I guess I'm announcing it here. So I was thinking about Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which is a great book. Anyone that doesn't know, Marcus Aurelius is maybe, I think a lot of people would consider him to be the best Roman emperor of the entire Roman Empire. I mean, he's definitely like the coolest. He conquered a bunch of stuff, but he was also a legitimate like philosopher from, you know, that era of philosophy. So he was an amazing Stoic philosopher, and I'm not, you know, nothing I'm like going to talk about with these different thought leaders, let's say, means that I endorse everything they think. I don't think there's almost anybody that I believe the exact same things as in general. But anyway, I was thinking about Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which is a great read, and it's actually, I also want to mention it's very readable. You know, I mean, it's translated from Latin, I suppose. Very straightforward and understandable. I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking like, I should have a more formalized morning routine. Now, I've done morning routines before, But what has occurred to me is a morning routine is like, it's like starting the engine. You know, a starter motor briefly engages and then it stops because the main motor has gotten going. I think of a morning routine as that starter motor. The idea is not to like, my point is it's different. You're not like starting your work day. You're starting to start your work day. And so the idea there is that we're going to start up all the important sort of processes in you to optimize what you're going to do that day. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about some stuff from Marcus Aurelius, and I sort of partnered with ChatGPT to narrow it down to 6 things. Some of these are things I thought of, and then what I did is I had it suggest tons of things, and I chose like one thing from that. Then I had it suggest a whole bunch more things, and I selected 1 or 2 from that, and refined this and refined this and refined this. This morning routine is meant, like I said, to kind of start up different aspects of you every morning. This is also informed by experience. Some of this is like stuff I used to do. I was thinking about the audiobook era of my life, and then I was thinking about like morning routine stuff I used to do, and I don't know why I ever stopped. So, you know, this is very much informed by my own experience, but like I said, I was trying to draw on a bunch of diverse ancient wisdom traditions. And so this is what we've come up with. I made a little cardboard thing, and it's right here at the nook where I drink coffee. So I think at least for a week I'm gonna do this, although I definitely think I'm gonna continue doing this, and the audiobook thing, it's more of an experiment for a week. But let's see here. The first thing is from Marcus Aurelius. It's negative visualization. This is something the Stoics did. At the beginning of the day, I can't remember whether he said at the beginning of the day, but we're doing it at the beginning of the day. You are actually going to visualize or imagine, however your mind works, as best you can, some bad thing that could happen that day. And you can kind of choose how bad that needs to be. Like maybe you don't want to imagine being hit by a bus or something, but if that's your thing, go for it. Personally, for negative visualization, I am choosing something that theoretically could happen today that would suck. The idea behind this is you're trying to imagine it as best you can and make it real so that you feel it. And then the fact that most of the time that's not going to happen makes the day seem better. So I won't spend a ton of time on each of these. Number 2 is, you could say it's from probably a lot of traditions, but it's specifically from Confucianism. That is, order one thing, meaning put one thing in order. The idea here, like the others, is these are all, you know, starter motor. They're just a small thing. And when I say order one thing, like literally something that could be done in like a few seconds, maybe like 30 seconds. And it's just to prime that part of you that is going to set things in order or be orderly or make sense out of something. Third, we have something similar to the first, which is detachment check. This, of course, as you could probably predict, is from Buddhism. There's a lot of aspects of Buddhism that I don't particularly like, but there's some value in this thing of like, it's like almost recognizing that you are distinct from your circumstances. And this is what it's kind of trying to do. What we're gonna do is we're going to think of something that we're afraid of or something that might control us, like a craving or something, and then sort of detach from it, recognize that we don't have to be controlled by it. See, the first thing, negative visualization, is like, you know, what if we were controlled by the circumstances? Number 3 is like, we are just choosing consciously to not be controlled by the circumstances. Of course, number 4 here, 1, gratitude. It's basically what I do at the end of the day, except we're also going to do it at the beginning of the day. Very simple. Number 5 is cold water. It's exactly what it seems like. We are going to splash our face with cold water. Just something that is not intellectual, does not involve the cerebrum. It's kind of that idea that you are a physical thing and not just a mind. Strength ritual, it's kind of similar. I've been doing push-ups and sit-ups in the morning for quite a while now, and I'm just formalizing it. Again, it's not exactly full-on working out. What it is just like getting the juices going. All right, I don't know if I'm gonna do all of these on camera every single day, but we'll do it at least once. I'm going to negatively visualize getting a really bad review. Just a scathing, hot sauce in the eyes kind of review. All right, I've been doing this for a few minutes. It actually does feel pretty bad. It occurs to me, I think we're actually gonna do 3, number 2, while I kind of have the image in my head. And then we're gonna do 2, number 3. All right, so I'm gonna take this pretty unpleasant thing and then just think like, I'm kind of thinking like, I've survived this. I've probably gotten hundreds of bad reviews over the years, and they suck, but at the same time, life goes on, and there are just things I can do. Ultimately, I'm just coming out with new products and doing the work. And if things get bad, I'll deliver pizza again. All right, that actually is useful. For putting something in order, I'm going to take this stack of napkins and make sense out of them. There we go, pretty good. I already did the strength ritual. We're gonna splash some water. Guess I'll just keep this over here. All right, it's actually very simple, not particularly dramatic, but it is kind of effective. People's interactions with water is one of the most sort of elemental ways that people have interacted with the physical world. So it makes it kind of sense. I'll put a picture of this in the Discord if anybody wants to just copy the picture. Maybe you can make your own version of this. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? You guys can tape things. If anybody wants to do this, obviously this is just extra credit, but I will put this photo in the Discord in the exclusives tab probably, and you guys can do it at home as well. Another selection from the American Songbook. We've only just begun to live, white lace and promises, a kiss for luck, and we're on our way. I guess that's sort of part of the morning routine to begin the day with song. Morning roundup. Yep, just a uke hanger. Another part of another guitar octo. And that is not what it's supposed to look like. Also another tragedy. This under extrusion is actually because this got caught. So this printer actually did good, but the Philly didn't. And this is the Infill D20. Just printing like a champ, looking great. Sure, go. This is the big holdable coffee. Very, very happy with this printer, behaving perfectly. And the big bread is just about big done. And this D20 is just about big done. Very happy. We're gonna get started making Philly right away because that day that the motor went out put us behind. I am making this up. Like I said, instead of listening to podcasts or other stuff that isn't like purely educational, we're doing our entire full week of audiobooks. See if I can do this from memory. Today we are reading Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. And yes, it's about this guy named Jesse Livermore. The biography is written by this guy, Lefebvre, however you say that. Jesse Livermore is like the first person to ever make like a huge amount of money trading, I think. I'm not sure if that's definitely true, but he's extremely famous. He got started before the Great Depression, like well before the Great Depression. What he did was he identified patterns in stocks and the way that markets move and stuff. Like, he's like the first guy to do this. Like, you just have to imagine how brilliant that is. People have been sort of trading things for hundreds of years, you know, and even things that are analogous to stock markets have existed for hundreds of years before our current modern era. This guy decided that he was going to identify patterns, and then, like, he just made money, then he bet more, then he paid out more because he won more money, and just kept doing this until it just got to like the absolute limit. It was a lot like gambling too, because like those guys that count cards in blackjack, he started getting banned from like stock trading places. So just imagine somebody that's that good at trading stocks that he's getting banned from exchanges like it's a casino. The really amazing thing about Jesse Livermore is he made a ton of money, went broke, just spending it and going crazy basically. Then he did it again, and then he went broke. And I think he, like, I can't remember whether he did that 2 or 3 times, but it's like, it wasn't a fluke. This guy could just, I think he went broke right before he died or something, and he was like starting to do it again. Anyway, it's mostly just a vision thing. Like, I mean, you don't want to do the going broke part of it, but it's just one of those books. I have started reading it, but I've never read the whole thing, which is why we're starting with it. That, like, you can just do things, man. You can just do crazy stuff. There are things out there to do that are insane and awesome that nobody's ever thought of. Just think about like charts. Like we've got charts up, right? Nobody did that before Jesse Livermore. At least maybe if they did, he took it to the next level. I mean, it's part of why I'm reading it. Like, just think about nobody ever thinking to take a piece of paper and just like chart out where the prices are. The reason we have charts is because of this guy, I think. Maybe some people did it. Anyway, that's what I'm listening to today. Oh, heck yeah, we just sold another full-size coffee. Yes! Okay, this is really apropos of nothing, but I figured out an even more cost-effective way to make coffee. So here I have my Javalia coffee maker. What you normally do is you make a pot of coffee, and then, well, I don't know what you do after that. You'll make your pot of coffee, you take your grains, is that what they're called? Grains of coffee? Grounds. You take your coffee grounds and you throw them away. Now, if you run hot water through those grounds, there's probably more like coffee essence that can be like run out of them. But you can't make like actual coffee from already used grounds. So what I've been doing is we take the coffee grounds and we add just a little bit more coffee grounds on top of it. Then you get a second pitcher, then you get a second pitcher of coffee to do with what you will. This is what I had been doing so far, but people that watched the thrift trip will remember we got this very nice glass dispenser. This holds just about 3 pitchers of coffee, which means we get to do this process 3 times. So for the amount of coffee grounds that would be required to make maybe 1.5 pitchers of coffee, we've made coffee that's as strong as it's supposed to be. And we've made 3 pitchers of it. Basically, we've made 3 pitchers worth of coffee with about 50% of the grounds required. Earlier, it occurred to me something I should probably do. If you remember a few episodes back when we were figuring out what I had sold the most of last Christmas, you'll remember that the Moai was kind of unexpectedly the #1 item, at least in number of sales. I got thinking about how easy it would be to repaint this a whole bunch of ways. I think we are going to do that. First off, I think we're doing the psychedelic graffiti paint that you used to see on a lot of items. They don't sell as much as they used to, but it'd be very simple and, you know, why not? Let's package a few things. The white llama. Como se llama? We've got the bronze David, and I realized we do not have a listing for bronze Davids or really any of the metallic ones. So, you know what we about to do.
package them up. And bronze Chihuahua dish. And we'll send off the mosasaur. And we've got, of course, ukulele hanger. And here we have the bronze octo. And here we got a big old shark. Well, we're about to close up for the day. And we don't have time to get pictures of this, but psychedelic graffiti moai. It's actually a little hard to get the colors right on something that's kind of this vertical, but you know, I think this could sell. People really like the moais. We might as well come out with a bunch of them. Why not? Oh man, I listened to a lot of audiobook today. I listened to reminiscences of a stock operator all day long. If you've read anything about economic history, it's interesting to hear about, like, it's one thing to read the history of like the financial panic of, I think it was 1907, or the Great Depression or whatever, but it's a whole nother thing to hear about those things from a guy who was there, and not only there, but was involved in like the trading that was going on at the time. Super interesting stuff. And it's just interesting to kind of get the mind of somebody who pioneered something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Really interesting book. Join the Discord link below. And many of you have, by the way, recently. So thank you. Joe asks, question, is the Dunkin' coffee better than homemade coffee or just convenient? I've never had Dunkin' coffee. I like it better. Really, I should just get like some cream or something. I don't know why when I'm at the grocery store I never get like some half and half, because it probably would taste about the same as what I make at home. I don't know why. Dunkin' coffee, just go into Dunkin' and getting coffee just tastes like twice as good as the coffee I make. But doesn't really make that much sense. Man, with selling that coffee today, sales were really good. Man, some of these AI videos are so weird. Like, what is going on? Okay, actual puppy of the day. I love it when they do that. By the way, as I said at the beginning of the video, write your questions down below. Write those questions, big Q&A episode. That's what we do every 100 episodes, and this is no exception. Q&A. The Q is for questions. JP Letty, I really like that color shift paint. I don't know what the cost is in Texas, but in Ohio that paint is very pricey. Yeah, it was pretty expensive. I want to say it was 12, 13 bucks a can. Maybe it was more than that. I don't know. I bought it a while ago. However, one of the reasons behind the moai thing is it took very little of the paint to paint that. So, like, you would really be making back the money if that became a big item. Kimcast with the jokes. What is a dog that sneezes? A chihuahua. A chihuahua. That is funny. JR303. Should do a pic of you talking to the moai while you're holding it, Shakespeare style. I wonder if Sean Connery ever did Shakespeare. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to write 3 songs right now about encouraging you to ask questions in the Q&A. Then I'm gonna post them throughout this episode. You've probably already seen 2 of them if I edit it together correctly. Here's the 3rd.
What a difference it makes with this Q&A. I want you to partake.
All right, if you're ever curious about how fast I could throw 3 tunes together, that's it. Well, let's see here. What am I grateful for today? You know what? The morning routine, I think it made a difference. I can tell over the long term it's going to reorient my brain in a positive way. There was a moment today when I was thinking about the fact that I haven't had a bad review in a really long time, and it felt really good. And I think it felt extra good because I visualized having a bad review, and then it wasn't true. That stuff works. But yeah, write your questions down below. I'm not even gonna ask for your gratitude. You know what? You can be grateful if you want, but write your questions below. We're gonna have a big Q&A episode. Write everything you ever wanted to know and also things you didn't want to know. See you on the next episode. It's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a marathon. It's gonna be amazing. I will read all the things. See you guys later. Peace out.
Stay around you. I can't say what I need. It's blinding are the lessons I'm seeing to believe. Standing in a moment, what has been is cast aside, frozen there as time rode. I know that you must have died. Everything I emotions, and we're all going to die. So leave me something precious, another glimpse of light. Lions surround you. Open up your light. Time to say Auf Wiedersehen.